Hey, what's up, YouTube? Hope everyone's having a great day or night wherever you are. Thanks for tuning in for another podcast here at Socially Anime. I'm Onix. With me are Goke and Kuma. Check out last week's podcast if you haven't already. Link will be below in the description. Smash the like, share, subscribe button for us. That's a great way to support us. Tell us your opinions in the comments below. In this podcast, we will be covering JuJuTsu Kaisen, Season 1, Episode 5, socially anime style in-depth spoiler review. If you haven't watched Season 1, Episode 5, we do recommend you watching it and then come back to our video. Shout out real quick to Cosmic Dog. Thanks for liking, subscribing, watching our videos, and Coffee Black. All right, everyone, Goke, Kuma, Dewa, Hajimashou.
Greetings to everybody. This is Kuma, and this is part 2, essentially, of the Curse Womb Must Die. We're going to start out with the ending of episode 4. We had a pretty intense situation. We had Yuji really at his wit's end against a special class curse. At this point, he had to basically give the steering wheel over to Sukuna. And this is a very, very dangerous thing, but it ended up working out. He demolishes the special curse, and the ending of the episode, you have Sukuna, who was clearly in control of the body, and he's got a really sly grin on his face. And this is exactly where episode 5 picks up. Sukuna, who is now, as we stated before, thanks to Onix, in curse form, Sukuna is waiting for Yuji to take over, and it's just not happening. We fast forward to the outskirts of this juvenile detention center, and we fixate upon our character Fushiguro, and he's looking out and he's pondering. At this point, Nobara has already been taken away to be treated, and of course Fushiguro is waiting for his classmate, for his friend, for his partner, who he intentionally left inside because of the plan that they made. At this moment, he's trying to figure out, okay, what are we going to do? Where are we going to go from here? And all of a sudden, the innate domain disappears. This is the barrier that surrounds the juvenile detention center. Out of nowhere, as if your boy Sukuna pops up right behind Fushiguro. I mean, shocker, an immense show of power, amazing in and of itself. You then begin a really intriguing conversation between Yuji, who's not quite Yuji. He's in the cursed form as Sukuna, and Fushiguro is nowhere near his level. I want to start out with Onix, man. I know that you love this cursed form of Yuji. What do you think this dude just shows up out of nowhere, appearing like Houdini behind him?
Yeah, I guess Yuji can't suppress the curse anymore after 2 fingers. He's at 3 fingers now, right? And he's like completely
just about
has no control. He did say like it's only a matter of time before Yuji can fight him back and suppress him again. So he was like, let me take Yuji hostage, and he just rips his chest open, takes his own heart. That was insane, man. That was wild now.
Super epic, and I got lost there. I mean, he just punctures his chest like nothing, rips the heart out, and he's like, I don't even need this. You know, I know Yuji does, but I'm Sukuna. I can survive without this heart. He just throws it in the grass. Goke, man, talk about brutality.
And then he seals the deal by swallowing another finger.
Another finger. Your favorite scene, dude. You love it when he eats fingers.
I know, man. So disgusting. But yeah, this guy isn't just super, super strong. He's intelligent. Usually when I'm watching, sometimes when I'm watching a show or an anime, I'm like, dude, why don't they just do this? Why don't they just do that? Well, he did it. Like, he's taken dude hostage. It's perfect.
As Goke said, yeah, he eats another finger. And this is symbolic. We know that his power has increased. I mean, every time he eats a finger, he gets stronger. Well, he's already strong. So it's even more precarious for Fushiguro. Fushiguro in his mind is he's thinking, and he's trying to do the best that he can in this situation where he's greatly outmatched. And essentially he takes a very noble route. He has this kind of, honky tonk plan that I'm going to somehow get Sukuna to heal the heart, because I've seen him heal the body of Yuji before, right? When his fingers had kind of shaved down, has lost his hand. So he knows Sukuna has the ability to rehabilitate. And so Fushiguro's plan is really kind of just thrown together, but he's figuring that, maybe I can get him to heal the heart. And that way, when Yuji takes back over, he'll be good. So at this point, we have a fight that ensues. I kind of had this, I mean, did you guys feel at any point Fushiguro was going to win this bout?
Do we even call it a fight? I wouldn't even call it a fight.
Yeah.
This is just Sukuna toying with Fushiguro. That's all he's doing, man.
Toying with.
There's no way that he's gonna win the fight. And Fushiguro's plan is 100% flawed. He's not strong enough at all, and there's no way he can force him to regenerate the heart because he doesn't even need it. So the fight isn't a fight, but it is super dope, man. Like, I just like how Fushiguro's going all out trying to fight him, and then Sukuna's just dodging everything just so easily. He gets thrashed, getting thrown into buildings. But through this fight, I do respect Fushiguro even more, and I'm just super hyped about all the other abilities. This guy summoning curses are just so dope, man.
You know, I do agree with that quite a bit. And at the same time, you said that he was giving it his all. I didn't feel it. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't feel it. Now, I will say at the beginning of this bout between Fushiguro and Sukuna actually gives him some credit. He's like, oh, I know that you're basically like a summoner, right? You use Shikigami, I get it. And you summoned the Nue, the bird, and it's attacking me, but you're also coming up and attacking me hand to hand, which for anybody that's a role-playing game, video gamer, anime fan or anything, a summoner usually does that. They summon whatever it is that they summon. It could be a spirit, it could be a demon, it could be an animal, just like what Fushiguro summons. They usually then stay in the background.
They
summon. You know, Sukuna does really give him credit. He's like, oh, you're actually fighting me hand to hand. So at the beginning, yes, Goke, fully agree. I liked Fushiguro, but I felt at the end, I think he was just fleeing. You know, he's being punched through buildings like you just mentioned. And he even has the Nue swing in. I like that part. And it caught him in midair. And I was like, oh, that's baller. He's getting destroyed, but yet his Nue is still attuned and helping him, but it doesn't work. He still gets destroyed in midair by Sukuna, just showing his dominance in battle.
Dude, I also want to talk about, not only does Nue, which is the bird, and Orochi, which is the snake, not only are they just giant creatures, they also have elemental powers. That was so dope. I was not expecting Nue, the bird, to have the electric powers. Yeah, because Orochi grabs Sukuna, and that's the snake, throws him up into the air, and then your boy Fushiguro makes Nue summon like some type of electric power, and then starts to hit him. Dude, that was so dope.
So let's go to the end of this fight, right? So Fushiguro, even though we love his Shikigami and his powers and everything, he of course loses. He is actually, I thought it was kind of baller, that scene where he's on the ground and his Nue has the wing over him. That showed a really great bond with his Nue, which I thought was cool. And he even actually thinks about it, and he's like, well, one of my demon dogs, the white demon dog, has already been destroyed. My Orochi has already been destroyed. Nue is pretty busted up, and he, decides to let him go. I thought that was really heartfelt. It shows that he loves his Shikigami and not just using them as tools. So I thought that was cool.
That made me sad that, well, I don't know. It made me sad. Let me stop, but my bad. But that did make me sad that once they're destroyed, they're dead. Like, he can't summon them anymore. So that means that that's basically what he said.
Are they though? See, I don't
that's
know,
what
man.
he said.
I get it. Like, never come back, you mean? Or he has to.
That's what I thought, because he said that the white demon dog was dead.
Goke, I feel you on that. But when he started, so again, Sukuna is uplifting Fushiguro's cool factor, because he even is like, oh, interesting, like, you make your Shikigami from the shadows. So he even, so this is the second time that he's recognized Fushiguro's skills. And Fushiguro, I guess that's unique. that he summons them from shadows. That's the only reason. So I agree with you, but that's the only reason I thought, well, if he makes them from shadows, maybe he can revive it. Maybe he can remake the demon dog, but maybe it's a process. Maybe it takes longer. But I was like, if they do die forever, then yeah, that would.
Here's what I'm thinking. Before he releases the bird, he says, I should release him before he gets destroyed. So what I'm thinking is, again, this is all, now we're getting to like metaphysical stuff or whatever. But what I'm thinking is that his shadows provide a vessel for the spirit of the curse to enter. So if that spirit is destroyed within the vessel before exiting or before him releasing them, then it gets destroyed forever.
It's destroyed forever.
That's what I'm thinking.
That's like Summoner 101. So that's a great point, and that might be exactly what it is. I'd say, suffice it to say, we're not sure.
Yeah, dude, I don't know.
It's very possible. I hope not, man. I hope not. I want to see more of these.
I want to see them dogs, son.
Exactly. So, he's on the ground beaten up, and Fushiguro kind of goes into what, I don't know, flashback, a thought process.
Dude, he's about to die. His life is flashing before his eyes, just like Yuji's life flashed before his eyes. And that's another thing I like about this anime, is that in other anime, people almost die every single time, but it's rare that I see them actually go through they have flashbacks like you hear in real life. When I almost got into that car crash, my life flashed before my eyes. We're seeing these real things that they're bringing in from the real world into this anime, into this story.
They do that quite a bit. I agree with that. Yeah, great point. As Goke says, so Fushiguro is on his last leg, and now these thoughts, these memories, these flashbacks, they pop into his head. One of the immediate quotes that caught me was one that states, "The only thing granted equally to all is an unfair reality." That had my brain tripping for a while. We might revisit that in a little while to see what's going on. So you have images of gears that are turning, and all of a sudden there's another image of a woman, and he's talking about how this woman is a good woman, Sumiki. Onix, who in the world is Sumiki, I guess is what I'm trying to ask. Do you have any insight on that, or you have any guessing for this woman and who he's talking about, why she's good and all this?
Yeah, I have no idea who Miki is, but unfortunately, she had like a tragic death. But we did learn that Fushiguro, we found his purpose and the reason why he became a JuJuTsu sorcerer and why he's fighting, man. He wants to give more good people like, Miki a little bit more fairness in the world. That's his resolve, man. If I had to guess, I would say a close friend that's a girl. I have no idea.
Thinking she's a classmate or an upperclassman or somebody from the school that he knew.
You know what? As you say that, you're right, because when she's upside down, she has a uniform on, right? Like
yeah.
No, but Onix, it's clear he doesn't like his dad. But to me, that was a little bit aloof, because he just says something of the nature like, my father is still out there just like living his life. Well, what does that mean?
I think that means that his dad's gonna come back as a villain. Yeah.
Oh, come back as a villain. Okay, I have to ask this question, right? Fushiguro's, I guess this is technically his first name, help me if I'm wrong, but his first name is Megumi. And in this kind of flashback and everything, he's saying that his father chose this name for him with no regard to his gender. I'm too confused. I don't understand. Is that an insult? Is that just a state? What does that mean? So is Megumi, first of all, a female name? And is it an insult that he has that as a first name?
Yeah, it's like if your dad named you Tiffany.
Okay, I'd be kind of pissed.
Instead of naming you Kuma. Yeah.
Right. Damn. All right, so he's stated now. So, yep, he's not okay with his father. And one of the reasons he mentions is for naming him a female name. I'm assuming there's more to it, but I don't know. The reason I assume there's more to it is he starts to go into the next part, and he starts to talk about karma. And he's saying that karma isn't fully automatic. And he starts to say that people that are evil basically have to be judged by law. Heavy statement. Onix, if someone is evil in real life, they do something terrible, is karma what's going to come back and bite them in the butt, or is it the law that's going to come and get them? What's your opinion on that?
Both, man. I'm a firm believer in karma. If someone keeps doing evil and messing around with society, of course the law is eventually going to catch up to them.
Eventually,
Shout out to all the first responders out there.
yeah, and you're right, man. What goes around comes around. I'm a true believer in that as well. And so, Goke, I want to go on to this next part that connects it to it. He says that jujutsu sorcerers are just another cog in the machine of retribution. So, what that means to me is he's saying, okay, well, he's just said that karma's not automatic, that people have to also be judged by the law, and that the jujutsu sorcerers are just another part of that machine. So am I to believe that jujutsu sorcerers are also meant to kind of uphold the law?
That's how I'm seeing it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're the law enforcement.
The law enforcement. Okay. All right.
Again, Fushiguro's opinion.
Right.
That's what he's saying. He's a vigilante. He's the one who dons the cape and does what the cops can't do or won't do because they're corrupt.
Got it. I think also if we zoom out, we really
hold on, time out. I'm not saying all cops are corrupt. I'm just saying, in Batman, when you watched Batman, you had the Gotham City precinct that was full of people that were a part of the mob. That's what I'm saying.
Thank you, Goke, for the clarification on that, sir. I was gonna say on this, so we've kind of gone, and I feel like this can go full circle. And in a weird way, the feeling I got from it, and I could be wrong about this, but when it talks about retribution or it talks about law, judgment, karma, and all these things, that kind of bleeds back over into the idea of curses and even how they are created, right? They're created from the negativity and the kind of the quote unquote bad behavior of people anyways. So in a weird way, yeah, indirectly or directly, if the jujutsu sorcerers are taking out the curses, are they not kind of doing that same thing just in a different way? So I thought that connection was kind of deep, but yet still very, very interesting. So Onix mentioned a little bit about this. And so at the end, he states that he wants more good people to enjoy fairness, even if only a few. This confused me at this point, right? He says, so I save people unequally. What?
All right. So with this, I think we already saw this, dude. We all already saw this. That's why he didn't give a damn about the dude in the juvenile detention center. He didn't give a damn about him because he was quote unquote evil or bad. So he's just reaffirming what we already saw through words. He wants to save people unequally, aka people that he deems good and are good in society, like he saved our boy Yuji at the beginning.
In his opinion.
I love that you said that. And so now I have a question for that. So as you stated, he only wants to save good people. What constitutes Yuji being a good person? He's known the dude for 2 weeks. How did he come to the conclusion that Yuji was worth saving and was such a good guy in 2 weeks? That was blazing through my brain.
Okay, well, let's rewind. Let's rewind back to episode 1. So at that time, Fushiguro didn't even know him at all. Like, he was just a complete stranger. But through the stuff that Yuji was saying about how he didn't really even know his 2 classmates for a couple of months, yet he was so hell-bent on saving them and so determined to do so. I think him seeing that made him think that he was a really genuinely good person. And then that was the beginning. And then, he got to know him a bit more, but that was the beginning of it.
Honestly, I think Fushiguro just, when he first saw Yuji, he sensed, the curse object, and he sensed Yuji's inner strength. And I thought he just thought Yuji was such a strong of a dude, such a dog, that he was like, hey, this guy would be a pretty good jujutsu sorcerer.
Yeah, I don't, but
let me save him and put him in the school.
Yeah, but strength and goodness are 2 different things. Sukuna's strong, but he's pure evil. So I don't know about that.
If you're going up against demons, you need some good, strong guys on your side as well. He's also one that was a great candidate. That's all I'm saying.
That's like that Burger King 2 for $5 deal, man. You get 2 for 1. Not only do you get a good person, but also somebody that could be a jujutsu sorcerer, man.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Because you got to remember, in the first episode, Yuji rushes in, even though Fushiguro tells him, hey, stay back outside the school, wait behind the gate. He rushes in on his own free will and takes action against the curse by throwing hands, man.
And this is why I love podcasting with you guys, because honestly, I do get frustrated. I literally didn't see that. I was like, why is he saying that Yuji is such a good guy? And you guys are definitely right. exactly that point, and shame on me for not registering that
Shame on
immediately.
you. God, what the heck
Shame
is
on
wrong
me.
with you? What are
Shame.
you?
Game of Thrones. Shame.
Shame,
Shame.
shame, shame.
No, but thank you both. Hey, you guys are both great on that. Seriously, I didn't think of that, but that's a great point. So that does really solidify and show why it is that Fushiguro literally went to such an extent to really try to get Yuji, even though kind of knew it wasn't going to work, you know? So at this point, you know, he's talking about, he's just made the statement that he saves people unequally. Then he basically starts to power up, right? I think this is where he really goes all out. He then, I don't know, do you call this casting a spell? Is this another summoning move? I need y'all's help on this, because all I know is that Fushiguro literally says out loud, "Sacred treasure, swing and ring, 8 grip." And then nothing happens, really.
That was pretty underwhelming. I was like, oh, he's about to go super, but nothing happened. So I have no idea what the heck that was, but I'm amped to see it in action later on in the series. Whatever it is, it looked dope.
So Onix, man, let me bounce this off you. Is that what turned Sukuna back to Yuji? Even though we didn't see any visual anything. But maybe that was like an invisible thing that brought Yuji back. What do you think?
I think it helped. Man. It's kind of like you know when someone's in a coma or in a deep sleep, they can still hear you. It's good to just talk to them. I think that kind of like helped Yuji get his bearings and want to fight more and finally get control of his body back from curse mode and finally suppress them.
Kuma, I know what you're saying. You're saying that what he said was some type of spell to put Sukuna back to sleep. Oh man, dude, I'm just seeing that.
He says sacred treasure, swing and ring. I thought of ring, almost like an alarm, like waking somebody back up.
Dang.
8 grip. So grip, you know, grabbing someone. So maybe this is some kind of
to release the grip.
Thing. It might be inside of Yuji's body, and he's pulling Yuji back into consciousness.
So that's what it was. So that's
maybe,
dude. I don't know. Maybe that's what it was. It was a spell to get him back. Dang.
I mean, Fushiguro is a summoner, so if anybody can pull anything, it's gonna be him.
Dang.
I don't think he's strong enough though to put.
Dude, but what? So then, what was that power? All right, dude. Onix. All right, if that's the case, then what was that power up? And what was the incantation that he said?
I don't know, man.
Dude, look at the scene.
I'm saying, bro, like I don't think Fushiguro was outmatched in strength and ability and possibly intelligence.
Not necessarily, dude. Kuma already said earlier how much Sukuna was praising his skills, and he even was like, that such a waste.
He's not outmatched in intelligence. I could praise your skills, but still be better at you at something.
And then you could be surprised.
Yeah, true. If I got too cocky, that's true.
Yeah, dude, I'm saying.
Nah, I don't think it was any type of spell or anything, because they never once brought that up ever after that scene. Like, if that was true, that they would have gotten to death about it. He would have told Goldro, like, hey, you know, I got Yuji back by blah blah blah. But that was never brought up once. I think it was just legit, like him saying, just talking to Yuji, like, because if you remember, Yuji always wanted to know why Fushiguro saved him, and when Fushiguro started talking to curse mode, like it was actually Yuji, I think that just helped Yuji fight back, because curse mode even said in the very beginning, he said it's only a matter of time before Yuji gets recontrol and switches back.
Okay, I thought that too until Kuma said, pointed out, our homeboy completely powered up, sacred treasure, swing, and ring 8 grip, and then those tattoos start to disappear. I don't know, man.
If you recall the scene, Yuji doesn't take full control until after Fushiguro starts talking personally with curse mode about Yuji. Like, he's talking to curse mode like it was Yuji. He tells curse mode, hey, Yuji, like, I saved you because blah, blah, blah. This is why I fight. This is my resolve. You know, I'm not a hero. I'm just a JuJuTsu sorcerer. And then once he tells Yuji, like, you know, this is why I saved you and all that, that's when the curse marks actually disappears. and Yuji shows up and then drops dead.
Well, all right. Well, we can just keep going back and forth, but I mean, I guess we'll see if he ever uses this, if he ever says those words again, and it helps.
I mean,
then we
could
know.
help. Like that could have helped, but I don't think that was like the reason, the main cause.
Well,
man, oh man, I love this episode.
I'm gonna throw in my theory really quickly here. So Sukuna, who's super overpowered, has already recognized Fushiguro twice, which is pretty epic. I mean, this is the master of curses, and he's already said, oh, not only did you summon Nue the bird, you're also fighting me hand to hand. So he wasn't expecting that, and this is Sukuna, this is like the master, right? Then he also regards him again later on. So he's already said two things to this guy, saying like, oh, and now you literally summon from the shadows. So I think that's alluding to, even though Sukuna is so baller, he still cannot predict exactly what it is that Fushiguro does or uses. And for me, that could be the insight, and that could be the part to show again, he wasn't expecting the third part of it, the spell that he cast that would have brought Yuji back. I think that could have been, that's my theory, is that they sprinkle that in, showing that even though Sukuna is a baller, he can't always predict what Fushiguro is going to do. And at the end, Fushiguro gets him again a third time with a spell he wasn't expecting, and he transitions him back to Yuji. Now, the other thing I will say is Onix and Goke, both of y'all could be right. And what I could say, Onix, for yours, maybe if it was the spell, it still would take time to transition. It wouldn't necessarily be immediate. So I could see that transition from curse mode slowly going back to Yuji, and that could be just like you pointed out, because you're right, he does still talk to the curse form as it's transitioning back. So in a weird way, I think both of y'all are right. I think it kind of combines all the way through.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, like I don't think that was the main reason. That helped, but I don't think that was the main.
I agree with that. So that's, hey guys, man, that's great. Thank you for that. That's just amazing. And so the sad part of all of this is that the report from the earlier episodes stating that a student in the first year student dies now comes true. It's very quick, heartfelt. You know, it's kind of like, hey bro, thank you for saving me. Like live a long life. Boom, falls out dead. Yuji's gone. You guys expecting Yuji was the one that was going to die when the report came out? No, I kind of did. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of did.
I didn't.
No, I didn't expect Yuji to die, and honestly, even at this moment, Yuji's not going to die. Curse mode never had intentions to kill Yuji. He even said, "I'm taking him as hostage," and took his heart. So, even that being said, like that told me right away, like, okay, Yuji's did not die. Like curse mode had no intentions to kill him.
Oh, right.
He just took him hostage.
All right, so now we switch. So that ends that scene, and that was pretty in depth, pretty hardcore right there. Now we do a full switch over to basically being in a city center. I was thinking Tokyo. Don't quote me on that. It might be a different city, but I imagine Tokyo. Pretty busy streets. Seems like it's lunchtime maybe. And now you have 4 characters, and I'm already going, what is going on here? I see a samurai dude. I see an octopus dude. I see a cyclops. I see a super tall tan dude with a white shoulder thing. I'm like, what in the world is going on? And why are the people around them not freaking out, right? So they are having this conversation. You're not fully sure what it is that they're there for. There's no names that are thrown out, but these characters are definitely very interesting looking, and people around them are not reacting. What did you guys think about the way that these characters are portrayed? Did you get that same feeling? Why are the civilians around them not freaking out that there's a cyclops and octopus dude? And
I thought that too. That was my first thought was, I guess people aren't freaking out. Maybe that's the normal. Maybe they're like the higher ups in the JuJuTsu tech school, and they're good guys, but towards the end, when they cross the crosswalk and cross the street and they go in the restaurant, the waitress only recognizes the normal guy and says, "Oh, table for one."
Table for
and the
one.
other 3 monster curse-looking guys just keep walking like nothing happened. So I think only he can see it. And also, I thought maybe like, are they all one person? Because when they're walking, one of the curses says, hey, there's no point in me speaking to you because I can't understand anything you're saying, but all of our thoughts and mind flow together.
So almost
I don't know, like
like
are
a
they all
split
just
personality kind of, or multiple personality disorder kind of.
Yeah, I have no idea. Maybe that guy can, he's a summoner. He's a high up summoner. He just summoned all three of them. I have no idea, man.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, what did you think about the backwards speech of the really tall, monster-looking tan dude? I don't have a name for him, but did you catch his speech?
Yeah, I actually speak that. That's one of the fifth
You
languages that
actually-
I speak. What he said was, nah, I have no idea what the heck he was saying. This guy. And it was just weird. When they're talking, we're seeing the people who were behind what happened at the juvenile detention center, I think. Because the first thing that they say in the scene was there any reason to use a precious finger or whatever?
Yeah.
That's what the dude with the volcano had said. Oh yeah, they're basically he's saying, why did we have to use one of those fingers to test Sukuna's strength? So I'm thinking they stole that third finger and put it in the juvenile detention center. So they're behind what went on there. So these guys are bad news, dude.
Yeah, what I'm trying to figure out now is he like portraying as a good guy in the higher ups, or is he just straight up a bad, cursed, evil guy that's just no one knows about him right now?
Definitely, I got that same feeling, and the way that they were talking, the conversation they were having, it alluded to kind of being a test. So if anything, for me, that kind of diminished Sukuna a little bit, because Sukuna to me is seemingly kind of the top dog. And now you find out there's 4 others, and maybe one is a human, 3 are curses, I don't know, but they're talking about testing his strength. Are they testing him because they want to work with him? Are they testing him because they want to work against him? Are they trying to use him for a different cause? I like the conversation because it opened up this whole story to even more possibilities. It's not just, oh, the jujutsu sorcerers against Sukuna and the curses. Now it seems even more convoluted. Okay, like Goke said, did they plant the finger there? Did they create this special class curse? Are they testing out Sukuna's power? And if they are, why?
Well,
Why?
we learned that.
A lot of questions.
Yeah, I mean, we learned that when we get into the cafe. But this is your classic Western: the good, the bad, and the ugly.
And the ugly. All right. So for anybody that was upset about Goke not knowing the backwards speech, Kuma's going to come pick it up. If you actually just put on the closed captions and you read it backwards, you're welcome. It says, he is the king of curses after all. That is exactly what the tall tan guy said. He just says it backwards, kind of like Missy Elliott when she's like, it's your friend, you know, that thing.
That
just
old
like that.
school song.
Yes, sir. Old school. Yeah, if you don't know that song, I'm sorry. But you could look up Missy Elliott and have fun with it. So yeah, and then of course, right after he says that, the other curse, I guess, starts yelling at him. He's like, nobody can understand you, which I was cracking up about that. It was pretty funny. Onix did mention that they go into this restaurant, or little pop shop, I guess. And as Onix stated, this is what alluded to me that obviously the other 3, not that they're not real, but maybe they're not just not visible. Now we are going to transition over into the next scene. We're going to enter into what to me is basically the morgue. We're going to have Gojo Sensei, and he's sitting down, he's having a conversation with Ijichi. And Ijichi is our window guy, and he's kind of been the one that has updated the students, and he hasn't shown that he really has any fighting prowess, but he seems like the information guy, And they are basically talking about the death of Yuji. Lot of controversy here, man. Basically, we find out in this that the execution of Yuji was premeditated, that it's a possibility, if not already proven, that the higher ups intentionally sent first years into an inconquerable mission in order to execute Yuji. What did you guys think of that?
I never saw that coming, I guess, and it also makes sense. That's just human nature too, with a counselor, the higher up, they don't agree on things and they make split decisions. But yeah, like that was insane, man, that some of the higher ups didn't agree with the hold off on his execution. So he was kind of set up.
I was so happy with this. Again, it just makes sense. We're always watching anime in movies where they send a 9-year-old into a war zone. That sounds like a setup. Why would you send an 8-year-old to war? It's so stupid. Obviously, if you send first year jujutsu sorcerers to do a special grade, it logically in the real world would be a setup. It'd be like, oh yeah, I think that we should send these second graders to this martial arts fight. I think that they're gonna win. And if that was in real life, you'd be like, are you insane? Clearly you want these kids to get killed or hurt, right? So like I really, really appreciated that
But
part.
they did say they said don't fight them. So I'm on the side of the higher ups. They said, look, just go in, get the reconnaissance. If there's anyone alive, save them. Don't fight.
No,
Yeah, but there's always a
Gojo
chance
said
of
straight up,
fight.
it should have been out of the question. Okay, first grader, elementary school first grader, go into the store and I don't know, buy this whatever, and don't get any candy or come on, dude.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
Serious? Are you serious?
Yeah,
Get out of here.
Oh man. Well, I love it, and this really shows some turmoil behind the scenes in the school. Gojo Sensei literally says, man, basically he alludes to killing the higher ups. Kind of a joke, but is it?
Nah, man, this dude, has he mentioned it before? Like killing them before or something? I don't know, but like he always says that he's the strongest. I don't think he's joking at all, and I think that he could do it if he wanted to. Yeah, I was like, this guy's such a G. I can't wait to see him fight somebody who's actually close to his level.
Oh yeah, that'll be very interesting. Following up his statement, you have a new character enter, and this is Ieri-san. So she comes in, she's this, I guess, doctor, nurse, mortician, I'm not quite sure. But it's really clear that she's gonna be the one either exhuming or dealing with the body of Yuji. Very interesting statement at the end. Gojo says to her, make sure to get good use out of him. So he's almost literally just at this point a piece of meat. But what does that mean, Onix? What does it mean, get good use?
Yeah.
What are they going to turn him into a zombie or something? What
No,
does that mean?
I mean like good information. Like that's how I took it. Like, hey, like make sure you examine his body thoroughly. You find out everything that we can possibly find out on, why Yuji was a vessel, just everything. That's how I took it. Like out of respect for Yuji who passed,
Okay, I like that insight. And dude, I think you're right, because episode 2, I believe, or 1 maybe, they talked about the chances that he could eat the finger and actually gain, and it was a ridiculous ratio. It was like 1 in 10,000 something for that to work. So you're definitely right. He's maybe even biologically, maybe his DNA or something can be studied, and really they can understand better the kind of things that he brings to the table. So yeah, great point. I didn't think of that. So yeah, so Gojo says make sure you get good use out of him, and she's like, yeah, of course, like who do you think I am? Very interesting intro to that new character. And again, just that kind of ending of Yuji and the death of Yuji and this big gaping hole in his chest, right? Now we're going to move over to the next scene, and we're kind of at what to me looked kind of like it could be the steps to a temple, or maybe just a more traditional looking building. And we now have a pretty emotional scene between Nobara and Fushiguro, the other 2 first-year students, and they are dealing with the loss of Yuji, but they're dealing with it in an interesting way. They're obviously sad and downtrodden, but they're not talking like they're sad and downtrodden. Goke, would you say that they were kind of playing with their emotions here, dealing with the death of Yuji?
Playing with the emotions? What do you mean by that word, playing?
I would say evading, maybe avoiding, trying to portray. This is the feeling that I got from it. I'll just give you guys the way that I saw it. They just lost Yuji. They just met the guy 2 weeks ago. This is actually something Nobara says, but the way that they're talking, they don't seem to really be grieving him pretty hardcore. They're being, if anything, rather quiet. And they're just kind of talking about it nonchalantly. To me, this is kind of evading and avoiding, because a lot of times if people that are quote unquote strong express their emotions, it can be determined or misconstrued for a weakness. If you even go into Nobara's mind, hurting and she's literally like tearing up, but she's holding it in. And she's like, I don't want to be the one that's tearing up. I just met the guy 2 weeks ago. But obviously it's emotional. For me, and Onyx, you can let me know if you agree with me on this. I just felt like they were grieving. They were upset about it, but they were also unwilling to show it. You know, is hiding emotion a cultural thing? Maybe is this a stigma? Is this something that happens a lot? Is I don't want to show my emotion. I want to have the right mask on and look strong, even though inside I'm hurting and it's killing me.
That is definitely something that happens within every society. There's basically saving face. And her lip was quivering at the end of the conversation. Yeah.
I will talk about really quickly, if I can jump on it. There's a very famous South Korean soccer player that plays on Tottenham Hotspur, and he's just amazing. But one of the things that the sportscasters always talk about him is exactly what I'm describing in this scene, is that the guy is really good at not showing emotion, as if almost trained. You know, he plays, usually has a very positive body form and shape and the way he holds himself, but he doesn't get angry. He doesn't really get super excited. He doesn't look sad. He is able, and to me, that's seemingly a learned behavior. I found it very interesting, and I felt like that was what was being expressed here. There's no outward crying. There's no, this hurts me, let's talk about it. It's much more, hey, cover it up, you know, show your strength. You're a JuJuTsu sorcerer. We're hurting, but this is kind of part and parcel of what we do.
It's like the perfect soldier. You know how like we always have in animations and just in fiction, they always make like these robots. Why they make the robots? Because allegedly, like the Terminator, it's the perfect soldier. It follows orders. It doesn't get emotional. It doesn't get angry. It doesn't get sad. Because when you get too angry,
doesn't make emotional decisions.
Yeah, when you get angry, you start making mistakes. So they're trying to be the perfect soldiers, the perfect JuJuTsu sorcerers.
That scene was pretty big to me, so I enjoyed it quite a bit. So after this, you know, kind of awkward grieving scenario, you have another new character pop up, and there's a female character named Zenin, and she kind of comes up out of nowhere, and she's like, "Oh, what are you guys doing? What is this? What are you guys like? Is this a funeral or something?" And she's kind of trying to be funny, and it's awkward because she doesn't realize that it really kind of is. Yuji just died, and so we get introduced to the second years. We have Inumaki, and then we got your boy, the panda. Finally, I understand what the panda is. Thank God. I wanted to know what the panda was for the longest time, even though it's only episode 5. So we get introduced to the second years. They also mentioned there's a fourth student. We just don't know who the heck they are yet. They're not there. They said that they were overseas. I'm not sure why. I'm assuming maybe it's a mission or something. Not sure.
Interesting that Fushiguro says that's the only one he respects.
That's
So he doesn't respect either any of these jokers that he's with. So I thought that was funny.
Let's talk about these new characters. Zenin, bossy. You guys agree? Kind of like that bossy character. Like she seems like the leader. Like she's like bossy, tells people what to do.
Yeah, she's a leader of that squad, of the Panda Squad.
The Panda Squad, nice. I like it. What about your boy Inumaki? Okay, this dude, I'm sorry, he can't say anything other than the ingredients in a rice ball. Who wrote this? I want to know.
Yeah, dude. So that had me like laughing, and it was just like, what the heck? And also, exactly. So we live in a world where Fushiguro and Nobara see a panda that isn't a spirit. I don't think is he a spirit?
Oh, snap.
Okay, all right, never mind. All right, I don't know, because that's not normal in a world where Jennifer Lawrence exists. Panda bears can walk around freely. So this panda bear actually might be a curse. That just it doesn't make sense for him to be like a panda bear.
Around. Okay, but he smells. That comes up later on. That's not a spoiler. That's in the same episode. But later on, they talk about him smelling a certain way. Do curses have they do, I'm sure.
Maybe
if smell, right?
Maybe if, again, in order to see a curse and to interact with the curse, you have to have some kind of cursed energy, right? Yeah. So because they're all JuJuTsu sorcerers, of course they could see and smell different curses.
I don't think he's a curse, man. I
Dude.
think he's just I just think that's the normal. That's the normal in the JuJuTsu Kaisen world.
I mean, let's see, man. It doesn't make any sense for it to be because
Maybe it's a guy
they've
that's
established
in a-
those rules.
I mean, it could. Is he a panda? It could be a guy that's in a panda costume, or it
All
could
right,
be
get
a
out of
guy
here.
that's-
Get out of here. Get
It
out of
could be-
here.
No, I'm serious, dude. Or it could be a guy, dude. It could
Get
be a guy
outta here.
that possibly has some type of like transformation jutsu, and they just stay hidden in this panda form.
I got one up on that. You remember the principal, right? And how he made dolls? The panda's just a doll being
It's a
controlled by the
doll. It
principal.
could be, man.
I'm joking, man. I have no clue, but we're obviously going to find out more. So those are 3 out of the 4 students that are second years. We have Zenin, Inumaki, and Panda. So that's a really interesting intro. We get intros to these students and we find out what it is that they're asking. So they're basically saying, hey, the third years got basically suspended.
Yeah.
And they're saying, we want you to come to the Kyoto Sister School exchange event. What did you guys think of that? Okay. What did you think?
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what the other students go. That's what I think. Boom.
All right. Let me bring down some knowledge and intellect upon you, sir. The reason I'm not okay with this is because, I guess you already forgot that Yuji just died. You insensitive, heartless son of a... Okay, let me stop there. Like, this is not okay to me. Yuji just died. And I was like, hey guys, let's go to a really cool party with another school. We're all gonna battle and show off our cool skills, even though the main character just died. It's all cool. Heck no, man. This was not okay.
Party. It's not a party though.
Dude, it might as well be.
they're
It's a
getting stronger
show.
for
It's
Yuji.
just showing off. It's like glitter and rainbows all over the place. We're all gonna show off our powers. That's what this is.
At the end of the scene, like Onix just
They're doing
said
it
in the
for Yuji's
background,
sake.
they're
They're trying
doing
to
it.
get
They're essentially doing it for Yuji, and they're even both thinking about him in their mind, like we have to get stronger.
I don't like it. I will say that I saw how they transitioned it, right? You know, Zenin came up, she wasn't aware of it. And the other students had to tell her like, hey, be, a little bit more empathetic to them. They did just lose a student. And then they got to be a little bit more sympathetic and they were like, we need your help. And then, yes, you guys are definitely right. They did connect it at the end where they're like, oh, we need to get stronger. I don't know if I would agree that it's all for Yuji, or is it more selfish? Are they just saying like, we don't want to end up like Yuji. We don't want to die.
Absolutely.
Well,
I don't think it was
it's-
selfish at all. Go ahead, Onix.
Yeah, I think it's just everything. Like, 1, they don't want to lose another teammate like they lost Yuji.
Yep.
2, Yuji wouldn't want them moaning around, just
Yep.
like moaning around, not getting stronger. They want to fight, get stronger, probably, learn some more ideas, some more techniques, and make sure they don't have another lost teammate.
Boom. I agree
Okay,
with
I
Onix
like
on
that. I
one.
like that way of looking at it. And I like that you say that, Onix, because you remind me of the beginning of that conversation between Fushiguro and Nobaras.
Dude, hold up.
Honestly,
I like how when they were talking about the competition, nobody's like, are we talking about Smash Brothers? I fell out of my chair. That joke was so funny.
Smash Brothers, yo, but it has to be on the Wii version. 'cause
Yeah.
He'll beat you.
That is
GameCube,
so
man.
funny. GameCube, this guy.
Meteor Smash. Oh, yes, sir. So, yeah, I love that part too, definitely. So they definitely accept this invite into this kind of sister school exchange event. Now they're asking, and I think that the writers are doing a good job because they know that we as viewers are going to have questions. And so as I'm complaining, I'm like, dude, you're supposed to be killing curses. What do you mean y'all are doing a school exchange event? Well, the creators, the writers and whatnot, they already are one step ahead of me because the second years do this explanation for the first years, stating that there are kind of seasonal changes to the amount of curses in danger, and it follows a certain season, right? They explain that part of it so that you're able to transition in there and be able to believe that they can do this event, even though their main duty is supposed to be protecting people and the cities from curses. So I'll give them credit for throwing that in there and making sure that it answers that question. Now, not the ending scene of the whole episode, but the ending scene for this group of 4, right? Where we think could be like a real guy with 3 curses, could be one guy with multiple personalities or something. Like I don't know for certain, but now they're sitting down in the restaurant and they're discussing how the boss wants to reverse curses and humans. And they're basically asking for help. So reversing curses in humans, what does this mean, right? Goke, what did you feel about this request? They're asking this dude for help. Like, we want to know because our boss, so it's already alluding to, they have a higher order. There's someone above them that is, guiding them.
Well, it was pretty weird. I don't understand how they could reverse it because curses come from human emotions.
I thought the same thing.
Essentially, I guess it would be humans would maybe cease to exist, and then they would reincarnate from the emotions of the curses. And that's the only way that I think that it could happen. But it's just a lofty thing to ask. Like, I don't know how that could ever be possible.
Onix, what about you, man? Reversing curses in humans? What did you pick up?
Yeah, it's kind of like Goke said. They want to get rid of all the humans. They want to get rid of the human race. Let the curses rise up. Let the evil rise up. They want Yuji, aka Curse Mode, and Gojiro on their side. and they even mentioned, like, further down the line, like, Gojiro is the strongest.
Yeah, the samurai looking dude is like, okay, how can we have this happen? There's only two ways this could happen. Get rid of Gojo and get Sukuna and Yuji on your side.
No, not get rid of them. He just wants them on
incapacitate them. Incapacitate them. Man, it's crazy.
And how strong is Gojiro? If the guy can't even get rid of him, he just says, we need him on our side. Like,
he's the strongest.
We can't eliminate him. We just gotta get him and Yuji on our side.
Is that is that almost a compliment to his strength? Because they don't even say, let's kill him. They say incapacitate him. That's something that you say when you can't really kill that person, right? Is that what they mean? At
this point, it's not even a compliment, dude. It's just a fact. He said he's the strongest. He said that he could win against Sukuna. He said maybe I should just
upper dude.
Yeah, I should just eliminate.
Yeah, at this point, it's not a compliment at all. Yeah. It's like the sky's blue. He's the strongest.
Yeah.
So that's very, very interesting, that conversation. And again, it opens up a lot more doors for the story to go to. And now we're at our ending scene. And this is the part where you go from, well, Yuji's dead to, well, is he dead? Because at the end, we end with this basically expedition delving into the hole in Yuji's chest as he lays there in the morgue. And what do we see inside the chest? None other than Sukuna. So Sukuna is still in the body. We know he doesn't need the heart. Does this mean Yuji is still alive? Does it mean
yes, Yuji's alive? Just like in the very beginning, like I stated, Sukuna never had intentions to kill him. He just said, I'm taking him hostage, ripped out his heart. So that's probably some type of like some pack, or he did something to Yuji's heart where he can take advantage of him. Now, Yuji's his hostage.
Well, his soul is somewhere in it. It hasn't like ascended. Yeah. So his soul
connected now.
Yeah, his soul is in this place that Sukuna has created, essentially, which resides in Yuji's body. So that's where he's at, and I'm excited to see what happens.
Oh wow, yeah, definitely. So a lot of doors have been opened up in this episode, which is really great. We got to meet a lot of new characters. For instance, the second years, we got instances. We don't know the names of these characters, but we saw an octopus dude. We saw a Cyclops volcano dude. We've seen so many people. We had a hint at a character named Sumiki. We don't even know who this lady is. We learned about Fushiguro's father, but we don't know, is he a deadbeat? Is he a criminal? Is he coming back later to be a villain? We don't know, but this is keeping us excited to see what's going to happen in the next episode.
I want to say thanks so much for listening to this episode. And remember to like, share, subscribe. We also have a Facebook page. Join us at Socially Anime. A lot of good stuff going on there. And my final thing is, in the comments below, we want to know, who's your favorite second year? Who are you most excited about? Zenin, she's a tool expert, Panda, or Inumaki, the guy who can only say stuff with rice balls?
The rice ball guy.
The rice ball guy. Who's your favorite new second year? Let us know in the comments below. We'll see you next time on our next episode. Peace.
Later.